us is always going to be the web. And we're always going to develop great experience for the web and any devices that connect to the web and have the supported technologies. With respect to developing client applications for other platforms, often that's a matter of resources and prioritization, and because we have Android kind of in our backyard, that's often where we focus on our innovation first.
I would add to that. I mean, in the demo you saw, I think it's easy to kind of gloss over, but you saw when we rented a movie that was built and played immediately in the browser. Just a browser. Didn't have to download an app. Works great. Works, you know, on any computer, whether it's a computer used in the library, whether it's a computer you have at home or at work. And then obviously it's enabled on all the Android devices. So that's pretty good coverage, and I'm pretty happy with the result.
Hey, Mark Millian, CNN. Andy talked earlier about moving away from proprietary services, and something you didn't talk about today, but I was wondering, do you have any ambitions in opening or standardizing video chat? So you have Google Chat, Apple has FaceTime, now Microsoft has Skype. So any ambitions to sort of connect the islands between video services?
I think that we don't have anything to announce at this time, obviously, or we would have done it on stage. But when you think about islands, you're thinking about it the same way I would think about it. You don't want to artificially create islands. You want to bridge islands. Sometimes in order to innovate, you need to focus on one thing and do it really, really well, and then open it up and let the bridges be built. So we're conscious of that. Nothing really else.
Hey, Greg, TechCrunch. So with 3.1 and 4, what's your current stance on custom skins like TouchWiz, HTC Sense, and how do you see the new time to update requirements affecting those?
Let me start, and then I'll let Roshi finish up. So Android was architected from the beginning to basically be customizable, yet compatible. So, you know, Samsung can do TouchWiz, HTC can do Sense, Sony Ericsson can do Mediascape, and so forth. The benefit, obviously, is the framework is smart enough to let that be skinned in a certain way and let there be a certain type of user experience that's completely driven by the OEM and the operators, but still have a third-party developer build an app that runs across all those platforms. That's the magic of the architecture that Mike and the team up here created. I don't believe in having an open platform that somehow commoditizes industries. So allowing unique user experiences and things like that is really, really important because it gives consumers choice. They might like HTC Sense better than the stock Android UI, and they should be able to select that. So that's I think a really important selling point of Android. The second part of your question, sorry.
Yeah, do you see the time to update requirements that you guys talked about today in any way shortening their ability to make these customizations?
I don't think so. That's not the intention anyway. Again, it is a logistics problem. So we have to make sure that everybody has time to move their customizations over. Remember, Android is a framework that allows customizations. So if it applied to that framework, it's really easy to make customizations go forward. Typically, we talk about fragmentation. We talk about issues that are more related to legacy. Having a version of Android that's 1.0 and 2.0 and 3.0 out there, and the false expectation that you'll be able to run a 3.0 app on a 1.0 system, impossible from a computer science perspective unless you can invent time travel and go back to when that framework was created. So we're more talking about fragmentation and display sizes and profiles and things like that, which I think the architecture has taken a leap forward with 3.0 and 3.1 difference. So I think we're in good shape.
Two things to add to that. The partners that announced today with us on the upgrades, they know what their plans are for Honeycomb and beyond, and still announce this with us. So they're able to handle it, basically, right? They've made the determination that this is something they want to do because consumers want it. And that's the second point, which is this announcement we made today around upgrades was really something that wasn't just driven by us. We played a coordination, but really the whole industry agreed, yes, this is important, and so they prioritized it.
We have time for just a couple more questions, so we'll start back here, and then we'll wrap up in a few minutes.
Michael Singer with Internet Evolution, all the way in the back. Talk a little bit more about security. Honeycomb 3.1, screen sandwich, if you can.
And then we have the safety lever, which is removing stuff from devices once it gets out of the Android market, once it escapes. So all that has been demonstrated to be working, and I think it's in benefit to the consumer's interests. It's always a cat and mouse game, no matter what platform you're talking about. There's nothing unique about Android. There are some interesting things that we're doing in future releases of Android around secure areas, giving the developer a secure area, using the TPM of the CPU and things like that, allow places to be stored securely on the semiconductor itself. We'll reveal more details about that at a later time.
Hi, Lance Yolonoff, PCMac.com. You mentioned multiple times the open system, and I guess I would like to hear your definition of open. Also, just a follow-up question that's not actually a follow-up. One OS for all. I believe you have two, so if you could just answer those two questions.
Right. I think the actual tagline was one Android for all. But I'll answer your second question anyway. For the first one around openness, I was waiting for somebody to ask me that question. Thank you very much for asking that question. We can go down the history as the guy that actually asked Andrew that question. Open source is different than a community-driven project. Android is light on the community-driven side and heavy on open source. So everything that we do ends up in the open source repository. It happens in open source when the first device is ready running that platform. And let me explain a scenario to you. We're building a platform. We're not building an app. And when you build a platform, the developers evolve the APIs. They add new APIs. They deprecate some APIs. We're always adding new functionality. What we talked about on stage was a bunch of new APIs, essentially, around the at-home stuff and so forth. So when we add new APIs, typically, in my opinion, community processes don't work because it's really hard to tell when you're done. And it's really hard to tell what is a release and what's a beta. And when you're dealing with a platform, that doesn't work because developers have to have an expectation that all those APIs are done and complete at a certain date. If it's a community process, an OEM or an operator or somebody could take an early version before all those APIs are locked down, start building devices with it, and those devices would be incompatible from a third-party developer's application perspective. So as the shepherd of this ecosystem, we make the decision that we're actually going to release the platform in the 1.0, 2.0, 2.1 scenario. We can actually make sure that those APIs are on all the devices that adopt that platform. Going forward, I think it becomes a part of our job. It's our responsibility to make sure that that stays together. A community project is a little more difficult to manage. We still accept submissions. We take a lot of submissions from the community, but it's in a much more controlled way as far as how it comes back out in these platform releases.
I think openness would be a nice close, if we're on to this session.
Wait, you just said close and open at the same time.
Well, it'll be open again at 2:30. At 2:30, we'll have a developer press roundtable here. Please also join us for 5:30. We'll have a press reception again here before the party. I'd encourage you to attend the Android sessions and certainly play the Labyrinth game. We'll have to compete with Matt over in the corner. So thanks very much for coming and enjoy the rest of the show.